Welcome to Jersey Reads the Classics, an audiobook podcast delving into the finest works of our literary masters. Unfortunately, it's read by this woman.
What the hell? Who cares? Let's go on an adventure.
Hello, and welcome back to Jersey Reads the Classics with me, your host, Rosie DeCandia. Well, my friends, I hope you're enjoying our wonderful Wizard of Oz so far. I mean, I know we're just getting on to the adventure, but I have a feeling it's going to be a goodie like the other ones. So without any further ado, let's get on to The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. Chapter 3, How Dorothy Saved the Scarecrow. Ooh. When Dorothy was left alone, she began to feel hungry. So she went to the cupboard and cut herself some bread, which she spread with butter. Oh, I do love me some bread and butter. I no longer eat it, but even a croissant with butter, like even a vegan butter, whatever. She gave some to Toto, and taking a pail from the shelf, she carried it down to the little brook and filled it with clear, sparkling water. Toto ran over to the trees and began to bark at the birds sitting there. That's what he does. He barks. Dorothy went to get him and saw such delicious fruit hanging from the branches that she gathered some of it, finding it just what she wanted to help out her breakfast. Look at this bitch. She's foraging for herself. Everything is right there for her. She's got bread, she's got some butter, and now she's got fruit. Okay, seek and ye shall find. That's what that sounds like, okay? Then she went back to the house, and having helped herself and Toto to a good drink of the cool, clear water, she set about making ready for the journey to the City of Emeralds. Dorothy had only one other dress, but that happened to be clean and was hanging on a peg beside her bed. It was gingham, with checks of white and blue, and although the blue was somewhat faded with many washings, it was still a pretty frock. I'm wearing a pretty frock. You can't really tell, but when I'm sitting down, it's poofy. My friend gave it to me. It's a really pretty dress. I was feeling like, I need to get dressed because I don't go anywhere anymore to get dressed up anyway. And I'm one of those people that has a lot of clothes, even though they're secondhand. I love clothing. Okay. Good Lord. The girl washed herself carefully. I like that. She knows hygiene. Dressed herself in the clean gingham and tied her pink sunbonnet on her head. Well, look at her. She's getting all prepared for her adventure, right? She's got herself all cleaned up. I mean, this girl at least is self-sufficient. There are some people that can't even brush their teeth in the morning. I'm sorry, I'm a tooth person. Like, I'm a teeth person. I'm all about teeth. Yeah, but let's not even get into that. She took a little basket and filled it with bread from the cupboard, laying a white cloth over the top. Then she looked down at her feet and noticed how old and worn her shoes were. They surely will never do for a long journey, Toto, she said. And Toto looked up into her face with his little black eyes and wagged his tail to show he knew what she meant. At that moment, Dorothy saw lying on the table the silver shoes that had belonged to the Witch of the East. Hello. Can we just say it? Hello. There we go. Here we go. I wonder if they will fit me, she said to Toto. They would be just the thing to take a long walk in, for they could not wear out. And they're also going to be blinging and ringing, honey. So shine like a motherfucker. And wear those shoes, girl. Wear those shoes. Wear those shoes. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm saying. That's all I have to say. She took off her old leather shoes and tried on the silver ones, which fitted her as well as if they had been made for her. Finally, she picked up a basket. Come along, Toto, she said. We will go to the Emerald City and ask the Great Oz how to get back to Kansas again. She closed the door, locked it, and put the key carefully in the pocket of her dress. And so, with Toto trotting along soberly behind her, she started on her journey. This kid is resourceful. She's packed her bread. She's cleaned herself up. She's wearing the proper shoes because they say you can judge a man by his shoes. Did you ever hear that saying before? So you don't want to wear old shoddy shoes whenever you go on an interview or go on a date. No, wear your good shoes. Don't wear shoddy shit. Anyway, I like this. This chick, you know what? Just like Alice and just like Wendy, these girls are really resourceful. They know. I love these strong female characters. That's all I'm going to say. They're strong female characters. There were several roads nearby, but it did not take her long to find the one paved with yellow bricks. Within a short time, she was walking briskly toward the Emerald City, her silver shoes tinkling merrily on the hard yellow roadbed. The sun shone bright, and the birds sang sweetly. Oh yeah, fun fact, I can do this bird whistle. I don't know. I've been doing it for 40 years. Don't ask me how. Don't know. Anyway, and Dorothy did not feel nearly so bad as you might think a little girl would have been suddenly whisked away from her own country and set down on the midst of a strange land. Good for her. She's okay. She's in the calm. She was surprised as she walked along to see how pretty the country was about her. There were neat fences at the sides of the road, painted a dainty blue color, and beyond them were fields of grain and vegetables in abundance. Evidently, the Munchkins were good farmers and able to raise large crops. Once in a while, she would pass a house, and the people came out to look at her and bow low as she went by, for everyone knew she had been the means of destroying the wicked witch and setting them free from bondage. Just like the queen, you know? Does she give the queen hello? The houses of the Munchkins were odd-looking dwellings, for each was round with a big dome for a roof. All were painted blue, for in this country of the East, blue was the favorite color. Toward evening, when Dorothy was tired with her long walk and began to wonder where she should pass the night, she came to a house rather larger than the rest. On the green lawn before it, many men and women were dancing. 5 little fiddlers played as loudly as possible, and the people were laughing and singing, while a big table nearby was loaded with delicious fruits and nuts, pies and cakes, and many other good things to eat. I'm hungry. The people greeted Dorothy kindly and invited her to supper and to pass the night with them, for this was the home of one of the richest Munchkins in the land, and his friends were gathered with him to celebrate their freedom from the bondage of the Wicked Witch. All thanks to, hello, Dorothy, right? Our star. Dorothy ate a hearty supper and was waited upon by the rich Munchkin himself, whose name was Bach. Then she sat upon a settee and watched the people dance. When Bach saw her silver shoes, he said, "You must be a great sorceress." "Why?" asked the girl. "Because you wear silver shoes and have killed the Wicked Witch. Besides, you have white in your frock, and only witches and sorceresses wear white." "My dress is blue and white checkered," said Dorothy, smoothing out the wrinkles in it. "It is kind of you to wear that," said Bach. "Blue is the color of the Munchkins, and white is the witch color, so we know you're a friendly witch." Look at that. She's prepared. That gingham dress, I love gingham. Dorothy did not know what to say to this, for all the people seemed to think her a witch, and she knew very well she was only an ordinary little girl who had come by the chance of a cyclone into a strange land. But she's keeping it real. She knows who she is. She's keeping it real. I like that. When she had tired watching the dancing, Bach led her into the house, where he gave her a room with a pretty bed in it. The sheets were made of blue cloth, and Dorothy slept soundly in them till morning, with Toto curled up on the blue rug beside her. So we do know that everything is blue. Thank God it's not gray. Remember that all the way in the first chapter? Everything's blue. I do like the color blue. Hello. And the fact is this bitch is being provided for. She got a good meal. She got some friggin' entertainment. And now she got a big old bed to sleep and rest. Good for her. It pays to be a sorceress, right? She ate a hearty breakfast and watched a wee Munchkin baby who played with Toto and pulled his tail and crowed and laughed in a way that greatly amused Dorothy. Toto was a fine curiosity to all the people, for they had never seen a dog before. "How far is it to the Emerald City?" the girl asked. "I do not know," answered Bach gravely, "for I have never been there. It is better for people to keep away from Oz unless they have business with him. But it is a long way to the Emerald City, and it will take you many days. The country here is rich and pleasant, but you must pass through the rough and dangerous places before you reach the end of your journey." Just like life. Didn't the good witch of the North say the same thing? It's beautiful, but you're going to come up to some ugly stuff. Here we go. Kind of like relationships, too. Oy. This worried Dorothy a little, but she knew that only the great Oz could help her get to Kansas again. So she bravely resolved not to turn back. I love it. She's resilient. She's persistent. She's like, screw it. I got a mission, motherfuckers. She bade her friends goodbye and again started along the road of yellow brick. When she had gone several miles, she thought she would stop to rest, and so climbed to the top of the fence beside the road and sat down. There was a great cornfield beyond the fence, and not far away she saw a scarecrow placed high on a pole to keep the birds from the ripe corn. Dorothy leaned her chin upon her hand and gazed thoughtfully at the scarecrow. All right, this is an embarrassing story, and I'm going to tell it because I was dumb. I was around 20 years old, and I was at college. Now, mind you, I had been a good student during high school. College, I partied a little too much, but that was because I was repressed in high school. That's not the point. So Scarecrow, I don't know what happened. We were talking about stuff and the word Scarecrow came up. And I did not have a realization until I was 20. And I don't know if one of my roommates told me that a scarecrow is called a scarecrow because they scare crows. Uh-huh. How stupid. I just thought it was called a scarecrow. I mean, granted, I grew up in northern New Jersey right outside of New York City. I really didn't know what was on a farm, but I thought it was just called a scarecrow. But they scare crows. Hello. I could see if you learned that maybe at 10, but at 20? I know. Why am I sharing that? It's not like it was on social media. That's my own bad. That's my own bad that I'm sharing it. But you gotta be honest. You gotta be honest. And sometimes when you're stupid, you're stupid. Okay, and I'm honest with that. Wait, that was not my finest hour. You know what I'm saying? Its head was a small sack stuffed with straw, with eyes, nose, and mouth painted on it to represent a face. An old pointed blue hat that had belonged to some munchkin was perched on his head, and the rest of the figure was a blue suit of clothes, worn and faded, which had also been stuffed with straw. On the feet were some old boots with blue tops, such as every man wore in this country, and the figure was raised above the stalks of corn by means of the pole stuck up its back. It's better to have a pole stuck up your back than up your ass, that's all I'm going to say. While Dorothy was looking earnestly into the queer painted face of the scarecrow, she was surprised to see one of the eyes slowly wink at her. She thought she must have been mistaken at first, for none of the scarecrows in Kansas ever wink, but presently the figure nodded its head to her in a friendly way. Then she climbed down from the fence and walked up to it while Toto ran around the pole and barked. "Good day," said the scarecrow in a rather husky voice. "Did you speak?" asked the girl in wonder. "Certainly," answered the scarecrow. "How do you do?" "I'm pretty well, thank you," replied Dorothy politely. "How do you do?" "Look at them. They're nice people." "I'm not feeling well," said the scarecrow with a smile, "for it is very tedious being perched up here night and day to scare away crows." "Can't you get down?" asked Dorothy. "No, for this pole is stuck up my back. If you will please take away the pole, I shall be greatly obliged to you." God, he's so polite. I love it. I wish everybody was so polite like the scarecrow. Dorothy reached up both arms and lifted the little figure off the pole for being stuffed with straw. It was quite light. "Thank you very much," said the scarecrow when he had been set down on the ground. "Ooh, I feel like a new man." Dorothy was puzzled at this, for it sounded queer to hear a stuffed man speak and to see him bow and walk along beside her. "Who are you?" asked the scarecrow when he had stretched himself and yawned. "And where are you going?" "My name is Dorothy," said the girl, "and I'm going to the Emerald City to ask the Great Oz to send me back to Kansas." "Where is the Emerald City?" he inquired. "And who is Oz?" "Why, don't you know?" she returned in surprise. "No, indeed. I don't know anything. You see, I am stuffed, so I have no brains at all," he answered sadly. "But he's got a lot of manners for someone who don't got brains. He knows that he needs to be polite. So, does he not got brains? Let's see about that." "Oh," said Dorothy, "I'm awfully sorry for you." "Do you think," he asked, "if I go to the Emerald City with you, that Oz would give me some brains?" "I cannot tell," she returned, "but you may come with me if you like. If Oz will not give you any brains, you will be no worse off than you are now." My God, these two are both really intelligent. Out of the mouths of babes, look at her. She's right. If you don't get brains, it don't make a difference. And he goes on an adventure. Now Dorothy's got a compadre. I like that. "That is true," said the scarecrow. "You see," he continued confidentially, "I don't mind my legs and arms and body being stuffed because I cannot get hurt. If anyone treads on my toes or sticks a pin into me, it doesn't matter, for I can't feel it. But I do not want people to call me a fool. And if my head stays stuffed with straw instead of with brains, as yours is, how am I ever to know anything?" "I understand how you feel," said the little girl, who was truly sorry for him. "If you will come with me, I'll ask Oz to do all he can for you." "Thank you," he answered gratefully. They walked back to the road. Dorothy helped him over the fence, and they started along the path of yellow brick for the Emerald City. Toto did not like this addition to the party at first. He smelled around the stuffed man as if he suspected there might be a nest of rats in the straw, and he often growled in an unfriendly way at the scarecrow. "Don't mind Toto," said Dorothy to a new friend. "He never bites." "Oh, I'm not afraid," replied the scarecrow. "He can't hurt the straw. Do let me carry that basket for you. I shall not mind it, for I can't get tired. I'll tell you a secret," he continued as he walked along. "There is only one thing in the world I am afraid of." "Ooh, what is that?" asked Dorothy. "The Munchkin farmer who made you?" "No," answered the scarecrow. It's a lighted match. That's funny. All right, L. Frank Bam, throwing in a little humor over there, okay? Holy shit, I love it. The Scarecrow is a witty motherfucker. He doesn't think he is, but I love when he said he'll be a fool when he's a fool because he doesn't have a brain. I feel like, no, the fools are the people that keep talking. It's the smart ones that stay quiet when they need to shut the fuck up, especially when you're in an argument with somebody. Sometimes silence is your best weapon. But all in all, look where we are. Dorothy now has found herself a compadre. And let's getting into the woo-woo immediately. Let's think about this. Dorothy gets herself all pristine, gussied up. She's like, I got a journey, and she knows her goal, right? We've talked about this, knowing your goal, knowing your vision, and even if you don't, that's okay too, because that's a goal too, to figure out what you do like in life. Anyway, the point is this. She knows she got to get to Oz, because bitch needs to ask Oz for the wizard, for a friggin' ticket back home to Kansas. So she's walking along. She's got herself prepared. She has prepared herself. That's important. She's prepared herself for the journey. And as she goes along the journey, she then realizes, well, I need a place to stay. And magically, there's a party, and she finds the richest man in the town, and she asks him, doesn't even have to, and he puts her up, gives her a feast, and she gets entertainment for free. And she goes on a merry way, and then she's provided for again in the morning when she gets a hearty breakfast, and she goes along the way. Just like us. We know that this is a metaphor for the journey of life. We are all Dorothy, correct? I think we've all established that. It's only on chapter 3, but we've established that. And like anything else, my friends, we all have goals, dreams, and visions. And once again, they do not have to be visions of grandeur. She just wants to go back home to Auntie Em and Uncle Henry. That's it. So this is not like, oh my God, earth-shattering. However, she knows that that is the goal, and she's not letting anything deter her. Not her fear, not the glitz and the glamour of this country, and not even the fact that the journey is going to be perilous. And the munchkin dude, the rich guy, Bach, tells her, it's a beautiful country, but honey, it's going to get ugly. So once again, she's being reinforced. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to encounter all this shit, but she's like, I must proceed forward. And she does. And the thing is, just like us, my friends, where in your life are you afraid to do something? It doesn't have to be huge, but because you're afraid of the crap that's going to come with it. Now, it could even be to the journey into yourself, right? You're like, well, I don't want to dig up all that old stuff, Rosie, because it's just going to make me feel worse. It does make you feel worse, but I will tell you something. Once you dig up the old shit in your life that no longer serves you and flesh it out and get rid of it, you're going to feel a lot better. It's always like, we got to do the work. And we also have to arsenal ourselves with the things that we need. So my question to you is, what is it that you're looking to do next in your life? Whether it's a new job, whether it's starting something different, whether it's a hobby, creating a new, app, invention, whatever that is. What is keeping you afraid from doing it? The fear of not knowing how to do it? I think I've told you this. I don't know. Well, I do know how to edit, but I actually do this as a podcast, and I don't know anything about podcasting. So I do Jersey Reads the Classics. It's on iTunes, Spotify, and all that. And that was the original idea, and I'm just doing this because I just enjoy doing like filming and stuff like that. And since I'm an actor, I'm like, it's something to do, and I can get all gussied up like Dorothy. But I digress. The point is this: I didn't know how to do a podcast, and what I did is I arsenaled myself. What did I do? I looked into podcast platforms. I really never listened to that many podcasts, I got to be honest with you. I just was like, you can do this. And I started recording, and I started editing in an editing app that I know, Final Cut, and I just started putting it out there. Of course, it didn't just happen like overnight where it's like, I'm going to do a podcast tomorrow. No, the idea came, fleshed it out, looked up podcast platforms, how I was going to do it, and got my due diligence, started doing the social media and what have you. So this is the same thing with you. What exactly are you looking to manifest in your life? Or what road are you choosing to go down onto? What do you need to arsenal yourself with? Now, does that mean resources? And there are a lot of resources. I mean, you can Google anything to get resources. You don't have to pay for everything if money's an issue. But if money's not an issue, then hire the right people to help you to carry you to where you need to go. But 9 times out of 10, so most of the times, especially now, money's an issue. So start Googling shit. Start looking about free online resources. Is there a class you want to take that is reduced rate? I've been taking classes online for like $5 a week to learn tarot cards, to learn astrology. I'm taking an Italian class starting this week, which is not $5 a week, but the point is this: it's doable enough. There are things out there for people that are looking to better themselves. So you know what? You got the internet. Right now, it's at your fingertips. So start arsenaling yourself with the tools and the steps you need to take that you need to take to get forward on your journey. So I think that's a lesson we can learn. So I just want to encourage you to think about what is it you're looking to manifest, and what is it you can do right here, right now, even if you feel like you don't have the means in terms of money, but what you could do to prepare yourself for when that money situation changes. Or by the fact that you are doing the steps, what happens is you're telling the universe, I'm ready to take on this adventure. I'm ready to do it. And the universe, trust me, will make shit happen. We'll have the money appear. We'll have shit happen that you can actually go, and you will be able to go on your journey. So I'm just going to encourage you to think about what steps you need to get next on your journey. And if you need to list them, write them in your journal, great. If not, think about it, visualize it. And then, my friends, you got to start doing it. You know, energy begets energy. If your energy is going to be where you're just going to fluff around and do nothing, you know what? You're planting seeds of nothingness. Now, I'm not saying there are days where you don't have to be motivated 24/7. That's not the point. We're right now in a reset button with this quarantine, isolation, and what's been going on in the world. But my point to you is this. This is a great time for you to go get clarity within yourself and start seeking the resources and the things that you want to do and getting the steps in place. Next, while you're doing that, that's where the energy, where your energy goes, that's where abundance and all happiness grows. So what are you focusing your energy towards? I want to encourage you to think about that. And next, I quickly want to say, because I keep saying it all the time, Dorothy is being provided for. She's got her eye on the prize of getting home and going to see Oz. She's got a house. She had a house to sleep in. She had food. She's being taken care of. And now she's got a buddy who, also like Dorothy, is in need of something. And I think what's funny is he's very polite. He's just like Dorothy. He's kind, just like her. Remember, your vibe attracts your tribe, and I have a feeling these two are going to be very good together, right? So once again, it's that knowingness that if you step out and you take that leap of faith, or you just step onto the path and you trust it, you've done your due diligence, you've done all you can do, trusting that everything will be provided for you. It can happen. Now, once again, I do like to stipulate what we think is in our best interest sometimes is not. So the universe will reroute you and put you on a different path, but in a way that you're like, ooh, I never thought of this possibility, or I never thought of this option. But because the universe is rerouting you to truly your destiny. Now, I don't know what your destiny is, and you don't either, probably. None of us really do. I mean, our spirit does. And if right now you're like, well, Rosie, I'm still trying to figure out who the hell I am, that's cool too. You know what you do on the journey? It's the journey within. We've talked about this. Go within. What are the tools right now you can do right now to help you discern what are things you'd rather do and things you don't want to do? Because I know right now you probably got a list of things you don't want to do. So I'm going to encourage you to make a list of things that you might want to do. Hobbies you like. Things that maybe you never thought were possible. Think outside the box, my friends. Hello, what did the great inventors do? They thought outside the box. People thought they were freaking nuts when they were creating shit, right? And I mean, there's so many inventions, you're like, how did that happen? Because they stepped out and they thought outside the box. They allowed themselves to be used by spirit, and they stayed open, and like they didn't think of they didn't think of what's not possible. They were like, anything's possible. And I think right here, right now, with the world being in the state that it's in, now's the time to get clear with yourself and to embark on it, because there's so much energy going on. And from all of this, trust me, the good that's going to come out is more creative shit, more inventions, more better, I'd like to think a better humanity, because we do need to change on every level. And just that we're going to change and evolve, because this is a reset, my friend. It's a reset for the world. It's resetting nature. It's resetting people. It's resetting you. So during this time, what can you do to reset yourself, get clear with yourself, and move forward? Don't worry if you don't know. Most of us are on this road going, what the hell, man? And a lot of us think that know what they're doing. They don't. They're just going along with it, and they're trying different things. And I do think a lot of people that thought their path before them was already, paved with a yellow brick, and they knew exactly that this was it, they're being rerouted to something else. And that's what also has been happening during this time. So, my friends, I'm going to encourage you to have no judgment, no harsh criticism of yourself, but to just open yourself to the possibilities. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Nothing is impossible. Remember that. I've said this also. I am possible. Right there. That spells impossible. I am possible. Okay? Anything is possible. But do your work, do due diligence, get yourself arsenaled like Dorothy did. Get the tools, the resources you need to proceed forward, and do the work. And trust in the universe that everything will be provided when you need it. Okay, my friends? Well, I hope that you appreciated and enjoyed this chapter. I know I did. And anyway, I'm sending you lots of love and light and peace and joy, and knowing that all is well. Remember, even if it doesn't seem like all is well, there is a method to the madness. And there's always darkness. There's always darkest before the dawn. And this too shall pass. And I know I keep saying I'm making light of a situation. I'm not trying to make light of it. It's just more of, at this point, if you're watching this, you've just spent 20 minutes and hopefully you've been entertained and inspired. And that's what I've chosen to do during this time. That's the thing. I've chosen to plant seeds of light and love and inspiration. It's something that I'm called to do. It's a passion for mine, and I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not earning any money, obviously, and you can tell by the views. If anybody's even watching this, there may be no views. It may be one view, and the point is this: I'm just doing it because, you know what? I'm telling the universe I'm ready. I'm ready to host my own damn inspirational show. Why the fuck not? Hello. I'm also ready to be on a TV show. Why the fuck not? I don't know. But universe, you got something planned for me? I'm listening to spirit, and the spirit used me as the vessel, and I'm here. I'm here, okay? So you be here now too. You stay in the present, and you know what? Because the present is a gift. You see what I did there? The present is a gift. So open that box every day and look at it with love, light, wonder, and gratitude, knowing that you got to open that box and be here right now. All right, my friends, you stay beautiful. You stay you, and don't ever change. Unless you're looking to change things into a better version of you, and that's fine too, you know what I'm saying? But stay strong in who you are, because you are enough and you are worthy. Adieu, au revoir, ci vediamo, arrivederci, peace.